Hi guys, Ancient Warrior, welcome back to Prepping and Free America. If you like what you hear here, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be the first kid on your block to know what craziness I'm talking about next, hit the bell icon with all. Where were you 20 years ago today? 11 September 2001. I know where I was at. Not even a question. I'd just gotten off a conference call with a company out of New York City. The big deal that they always did on their flyers and stuff that they sent to companies was that they were housed right there in the World Trade Center. That they were a World Trade company. I guess I hadn't been off the phone with them 15 minutes when it happened. My business partner flew into my office and he said, "Have you seen the news?" And I'm sitting in front of a computer reading the paperwork that had just come to me from this company. He said, "A plane's hit the World Trade Center." In '01, the internet was not as good. Computers weren't as good, or at least the one I had wasn't as good. And things were different. You know, I tell people it was a simpler time. I think back today of that day. I do every year. There is not too many people who haven't been affected by the aftermath of that day. I think of all the people who died, either at the Pentagon or on Flight 93 or at the World Trade Center. I think of the millions of people who have been affected just here in the United States. I don't think there's a city, town, hamlet, or anything in this country that hasn't had to bury one of its own because of the war. Am I glad the war's over? You bet. Do I think that it was way too long? You bet. Do I think it was a mistake? Only history will tell. Time and history will tell. You know, I look at yesterday afternoon, I spent the day with some young veterans that I know that served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Folks, Their emotions are all over the board. One of them asked me very politely, said, what was it all for if they were going to give up so easily? We've had weak leadership for a long time in this country. I think we had one leader for 4 years who actually worried about the men and women who were serving abroad. He wasn't a politician, he was a businessman. And that will not do. Do I think he was cheated out of an election? I don't know. But I have told people I think our last fair election was the 2016's. What came after 9/11? That abomination they called the Patriot Act. And they was selling it. They were selling it to us like it was the best thing since sliced bread. Our leadership of this country has sold this country out. They've known for years about the type of attacks that were possible. Now, I'm not going to make comments about military units training in Canada, since I can't find any definitive proof. Now, I have found definitive proof that the cartels, the Mexican cartels, are working hand in hand with the Chinese. And I thought it was laughable when they decided to file lawsuits against American gun makers. For the death and destruction in their country. And I've noticed most of the weapons that I've been seeing are not ARs, they're AKs. But, oh well. You know, watch this hand. Don't pay any attention to this one. Guys and gals, I'm going to tell you right now. I pray this day finds you healthy. That your families are doing well. We've lived through hell for the last year with the COVID lockdowns, with the possible new passports. But I'm going to tell you something today. It's a good day. It's a beautiful day. Yesterday was blistering hot. today's not starting out too bad. This is being done at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's not too hot yet. But they tell me it's supposed to get really warm today. Our nights are getting down into the mid and low 60s. Wednesday night got down into the high 50s. Most nights I'm turning the air off at night, opening windows, and don't turn the air back on until about noon, 1 o'clock, 2. Then 12 hours later when I get home from work, I turn it off again. Here's my thought for each of you. My thought is that God will bless each of your homes. If you haven't seen a good reason in the last 20 years to start prepping you, especially after last year, then you probably never will. You know, the people down in Louisiana are still begging for help, and yet none of us come to them. Matter of fact, I saw a write-up the other day, and I don't remember if it was on Reddit or Instagram or where, that people in Louisiana are asking for help because there's been no government aid. Let me tell you something, folks. This White House is going to make sure that the blue states get the help first, and the red states will just have to wait and suffer. You know, I'm kind of like the guy from The Matrix, from the original Matrix show. Oh, why did I take that pill? Why did I wake up from my slumber? Thank God I did. Or I might be just like a lot of other well-meaning people, still asleep and not prepared for what's coming. Folks, if you're preparing, you're going to live free. And it's better to have this equipment and not need it than need it and not have it. Have a blessed day, ladies and gentlemen. And somewhere through the course of your day, take a second, say a little prayer. Say a prayer for the families of the men and women who are no longer with us due to the war or due to the attack. But just have a good and peaceful day. Hug your children. Hug your grandkids. Just let them know how much you love them. I'm the Ancient Warrior, and we're out.